there we go. You're good.
Hi, everyone. I'm your news anchor, Grace Ward for Coog News, and I'm here to talk to you about the high crime of drug cartels in Brazil right now. Even though this problem has been going on since the 1960s, it's a pursuing problem that has no end whatsoever. Even in 2017, the New York Times reported that the U.S. officials took that there were 37 million arms transported over to Brazil, which in previous years it had been about 35 million, which is causing major for our border country. My reporter is Tim Lopez, who was a 50-year-old reporter when he was killed back in 2003 after reporting about the drug trafficking over low income and exploiting girls in Rio de Janeiro. Prior to his death, he was a very successful journalist who had worked on the Globo. After being murdered by a gang called on June 9th, he was found dead. He is survived by his wife and 2 children. So, Jim, tell me more about the problems about the drug.
Absolutely, yeah. So, about like a couple of years ago, on November 21st of 2012, a guy by the name of Eduardo Carvajal, he was a editor and chief executive of a company called Última Hora News. He was part of basically like a journalism team. So what he would do is he would go around the favelas in Brazil and he would basically exploit the problems that the certain cartels had in Brazil, as in like Rio de Janeiro or Brasilia, all those cities in Brazil. And one time he was, well, basically the last time he went to have dinner with his wife at a famous restaurant. And the time that he got home, 2 guys on a motorcycle came by, shot him in the head, and basically fled the scene. So basically, the violence in Brazil and especially Rio de Janeiro is just getting really high just because all these journalists are exploiting all the things that the cartels are doing. And, before he died, he tried to advise all journalists to carry a gun with them just because of the dangerous places that they are visiting and, just always to be prepared. So I know definitely Jake. Hey, Jake, make sure you tell your cameraman to put the camera a little more down. But I know definitely Jake has more information about that.
All right, thanks, Jim. So my journalist, his name is Jairo Souza, and he was basically very well known within the Rio de Janeiro community. And he was murdered by, a councilman hired 2 gunmen to assassinate him as he was getting out of his car for work. And basically, his assassination devastated the entire community because he was well renowned and just very respected because he always preached the truth and shed light on corrupt ways within government. And eventually, after an investigation, they caught the councilman and he's in prison right now. And I mean, this shows how corrupt Rio de Janeiro can be in regards to their violent ways to lash out against people trying to shed light on a problem. Yes. And I'll pass the story on to Raphael.
Yes, our lead investigative journalist, Raphael.
Thank you. All right, so I'm reporting on Aro Ida, who's a 53-year-old opinion writer for the news network Al Jazeera. He was approached in July 2011 by an unidentified shooter and was shot dead in his car. A few weeks before that, actually, he was investigating a story on local political corruption, which made a big story in the city that he's from. No arrest was made due to lack of evidence on the suspect. However, there was also no common interest from the police, given that it had a political impact. So, due to his death, he was a very known writer. You could say that people targeted him because of his opinion and his voice that he wanted to share. That gives you a kind of an example of how people are over there with freedom of speech. It's becoming more like a freedom of speech at risk. So that's how it's going down, and give it to Jeremy.
Thank you, Raphael. So going off of the theme of the drug cartels in Brazil, one statistic that I don't think we've thrown out there yet, which was found by the NGO Public Safety Institute, is that the rate of young kids involved in drug cartels doubled from 6.5% to 13% from the years 2016 to 2017. So we see a correlation with violence becoming more of a problem with the increase of the drug cartels. And going off of the violence pertaining to journalists, Jose Carlos Araujo, host of a call-in talk show in Brazil called the Jose Carlos Entrevista was the name of his show. And he had several enemies within his town of Timbaba, and a lot of it had to do with the corruption that he was exposing. He voiced concern over the presence of death squads that were being run by criminal gangs in the region. And two unidentified gunmen shot and killed him right outside of his house at 7:30 p.m. And Araujo accused one of the gunmen on air of being a criminal. So he was exposing corruption, and it goes right along with the theme that you guys were discussing. So this concludes our report for today. I hope you all have gained a little insight as to what is actually happening in Brazil.
Thank y'all for watching. Good night.
Oh, stop the recording.